looking to see how this team is going to improve, move forward, and whether they can get to those sort of top iterations. But it does look like we're going to head our way into this pistol round. CLG versus Optic, map number 1 of the best of 3, brought to you by Subaru.
It's more than a Subaru, it's a pistol round.
Oh, God.
So,
It was coming.
Yeah, I had to do it, dude. I had to get it in there. I wrote that down last night. I'm not going to lie. I'll be honest with you. CLG, no kit, interestingly enough, on this map, on the pistol round. They're going to have one player towards long A to spot. That's going to be Cutler, as Optic Gaming start to walk up towards long A. So it's a very B-heavy kind of setup from CLG. A lot of attention giving towards drop room early. As look at Rush, though. He's going to get down dangerous stairs. They have mid and danger control. They're looking towards long Cutler, playing the range with his USP on site. He's going to see the utility getting thrown in from Optic as they're going to fly out towards mid. He's going to fall back to the site, and here comes the rotations from CLG as the brawl's about to begin.
Cutler needs to try and at least find something on the site. Remaining players are trying to rotate back in, but he's just missed everything. However, the rotation looks like it may just be quick enough. We've seen a couple of kills either side. FNF pushing will be able to get one. And it's still a little bit risky, though, because remember, they don't have a kit. They've got to move nice and fast. And, well, so far, it doesn't seem to be working. Ricky and Kusta are the only ones left back into this 2 versus 2. Really, the bomb's just being played at this point. There shouldn't be any possibility for Ricky to do anything in this situation. He will be able to finish off one more rush. All he has to do is play the time and almost gets caught out. But I think he's just done enough in this situation.
Indeed he has. Ricky's going to run for his life. Optic Gaming pick up the pistol. And it was a walk contact up towards long A. There was one player playing corner. That was Cutler. He was there for at least 20 seconds at the beginning of the round, didn't spawn anything, fell back to site. The rotations came through appropriately, but Optic Gaming just had the utility and they overwhelmed the player's site. The rotations, they were able to scrim out, but it came down to not having a kit. Ricky didn't have enough time, and that got played beautifully near the end around APC. So Optic pick up pistol. They're going to go into the typical AK's UMP. The scout comes out from Nafly. While CLG, you got to love the new UMP. So the UMP is going to be in play out on Ricky. He can afford that. Pistols for his teammates with a scout on FNS. And it looks like it's just going to be pretty much a basic default from Optic. One player towards Plat. Going to spawn FNS early. And FNS is in a kind of a tough place. Can't fall back safely. And you see Rush is holding for that angle for him to repeat. But FNS is just going to play with it. Toy with the idea. And instead he'll just take a bullet to the dome and he'll fall. Some of the other members of Optic Gaming. They'll find the required entries. As quick as they were ready for that, they will fall. Leaving it all on Ricky with a UMP. Optic Gaming. Not even a scratch as they find the entries into B.
Yeah, that was just sheer wipeout. I am quite a big fan, in fact, of just going heavier on the rifles. I think we've seen so many teams. I think it was like Envy at one point that were just like, we're not even going to bother buying any rifles in these second rounds anymore. It's just going to be straight UMPs, maybe a couple of MP7s even in the mix just for the lulz pretty much. And they were losing quite a lot of those rounds, which I wasn't really too much of a fan of. But this way that they've just played, so safe, all the AKs kept in. It's another way of making money, obviously not rebuying any other than that one Mac-10 that's now coming in onto Jason R, which he's just going to look up to farm up the cash as they now only have, well, I say they only have pistols. Ricky's gone with a lovely little taser, trying to do a bit of damage in that sense.
Gonna set her under a drop. The typical Zeus spot. And it's gonna work out. Ricky's gonna tase Jason R. That's one way to say you might beat us in pistol. You might be able to pick up round number 2, but at least we'll get something thrown your way. And it's suiting that it was the SMG to go down drop, so it was a safe play from Optic. But Jason wasn't ready for that taser.
Yeah, he did. Thing is, you make no money obviously from the taser, so it doesn't really benefit in terms of like money made for the CT side. But it did deny Jason basically making a whole load of cash just off of that Mac-10 because, let's be honest, the likelihood of them killing him with straight USPs was pretty slim. So just straight up denied. And well, Kusta, no armor this time. He's been, again, denied that amount of money, but he will have his trusty AWP in play. And, well, something we do see quite often from this team is actually that double AWP setup. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they bring that in later into the match.
Nafly's going to stick with the scout instead of going for about 5 rifles. So they will have that tagging presence and the one-shot capabilities. It does become a headshot. Jason R alone towards Plat, so he uses that smoke towards Broken Wall to get himself out. Tries to spot someone out towards site. And with nothing showing, he is just going to safely fall back to the farthest points of that long haul in towards T-Apps. Meanwhile, Optic Game going to gain some mid control here. FNS currently smoked off towards Danger. He's waiting for anyone to push through smoke, and as that starts to fade, FNS may just aggress forward with the help of Cutler, who's playing towards tree, spotting towards mid. And look at that, 1 HP on Mixwell. Gush and a tag comes through. FNS waiting for the smoke to go away. As soon as it does, he'll have so much information. He hears Natfly, he spots the first word, takes the engagement, gets the first. They line up for him, but the bullets won't connect. Now we're back in an even man situation where Cutler tries to challenge towards long, but Rush is all over it. Optic Gaming come out on top with a man advantage, but 2 players heavily tagged.
45 seconds left on the clock, and the rotation is going to go in over towards that B site, which is currently abandoned completely by the CT side. You can see Rookie, I think he may be aware of this fact and is going to go pushing back into the site, but just those early picks that have come in over towards A have completely left this CT side just out of the action, and it is going to come down to this one man all alone, and he's going to go down straight away. Jason Art dismantling this defense and leaving the remaining 2 players left to save. There's not really much else they can do. A couple of low players, which is a bit unfortunate considering, okay, those 2 kills go the other way and anything is possible, but Optic easily walking away with this round. And in fact, we are going to see Mixwell at least pushing a little bit. I feel like going on the hunt with 1 HP is a bit of a risk, but I suppose they are in the lead. And if they take the remaining rifles out of the hands of the CT side, it will be very costly for their future.
Yeah, great round from Optic, though. I mean, they saw Jason just push towards Plat by himself. The nice thing about throwing that broken wall smoke is you can't really tell as a CT how many people are going to be there towards Plat. Jason just walked there and contacted it the whole way. Tried to use the gap of the smoke towards boxes to find opening frag. And when nothing was thrown his way, his teammates decided to aggress through mid. They wanted the aim duels towards the A site. They got the picks they were looking for. They fell back. And CLG had a gamble. They're like, well, they could still be towards A. Because at that point, CLG had no map control. They had no one pushed up towards A. They lost the duels towards long. They had to push back into the site. They decided to leave 2 players towards A, and Optic Gaming get an easy entry in towards B. So you're going to be looking at a 4-0 scoreline. Mixwell already 7 frags for himself. CLG at least saved the op out on Kusta and a rifle on Ethan. So anything's possible into this round. They're going to boost the op in towards Danger. Ricky going to be playing towards long A. That molly forces him to stay in bench, and he's actually going to burn. So Tarek burns him out of position. Good molly early from Optic, as it's just going to be pretty much a cut dry round for Optic. Going with their contest here.
Yeah, only FNS anywhere near the action now. Still 2 players waiting to see if anybody will go aggressive. And in fact, Kusta's AWP is out of this round as well. Now, obviously, they will have themselves a buy going into the next round with full loss bonus available. But it would have been nice if they would have been able to keep that. Bomb, in the meantime, is heading over towards the A site. In fact, it's been planted. And, well, one by one, we are just seeing the loss of all of these CLG players. One will come in for FNS. He's actually managed to get a rifle, so could at least try and make things costly. But Rush, again, takes him down. And that will be a 5-0 scoreline for Optic.
5-0, and there's the double op. You touched it in the first rifle round, saying LCAG like to do this double op setup, and it's going to come out. It's almost like her fortune teller. Optic Gaming, not going to pick up one up themselves. Money's not an issue. They're just going to stick with the rifles until they have to get a rebuy, and then you'll see the op come out from Mixwell, I imagine. So the double op on Ricky and Kusta. You know how good Ricky is with it. Kusta's been extremely dangerous with it lately. We'll see if this is going to net themselves around. It is 5-0, and this time CLG is going to play 2 players towards A. 1 op, 1 rifle. They're going to play the corner, so Kusta will be first contact, try to find the opening pick. I imagine Optic will flash, do the typical flash over the top, force Kusta off. But that's why Cutler's in such a strong position. But Optic are running up mid. Kusta will shut down the long A presence, but Optic are already up towards the site, pushing up mid to APC.
Oh, nice little angle held by Rush as well. It's going to deny Kusta anyway back into the site, but will they expect the second player to be coming in on the flank? They should have a rough idea, and while Tarek has others, he's going to push very aggressively. In fact, leaving this into a 3 versus 2. The CT side with the advantage for the first time in a while. The bomb is going to be planted. Nafa Mixwell trying to defend.
Man advantage to CLG in the retake. There's an op-out on Ricky. Nafly is going to be holding the doors in this cubby towards mid. Well, Mixwell will be the man to stay towards site. Flash comes over. They're going to go. Nafly spots the first, takes engagement with the second. He'll win that. Mixwell will fall towards site, and it's all on Nafly. He's brought into a 1v1. Ricky with the op, trying to fight from APC, and Nafly playing this so smart. Knows there's going to be an op posted on him. Just going to rotate all the way back to long. Ricky has a kit. Will Nafly peek in time? He's down to 2 seconds. Nafly takes the peek. 5 bullets. And they will land home. Heads up play from Nafly not to peek right into the op. He picks a different angle. And he'll pick up another round for Optic.
Yeah, well, brilliant play from him. Takes down all 3 players attempting to retake using that mid control. And then just the reposition at the end was just the icing on the cake. Came pretty close. But I just like the little jump spot. That's the big thing there, because a lot of players will just shoulder peek in, and if you have sort of an AWP homed in, which Ricky could have done, then that would have been the end of him, but instead checks that he's on the defuse and finishes him off fairly comfortably, almost makes it look easy, and well, so far, that's all it's been for CLG. They're not able to find anything on the board as of yet, going to have to invest a little bit. Nice shot from Ethan, will take down Mixwell early into the round, but they've still got so much to do.
It's the first step in the right direction. To get the opener, Tark's going to put him down. No more danger from that deagle. Ricky's heavily tagged down to 15. Going to be playing from Pizzo to P250. Spots those players, his teammate from danger. He's going to come out and say hello. He's able to get almost do some damage. Can't find a frag. He will clean one up, actually. Surprisingly enough, with that one player pushing up down lane to flank that player Pizza, somehow FNS still comes out with a frag in that situation. There is a UMP out in Cutler, so damage can be dealt, but I imagine CLG is just going to be playing exits at this point. Maybe try to upgrade that P250 to an AK, UMP to an AK, and such. Optic Gaming will get lucky number 7 without CLG putting one on the board. Optic, they're looking really good. They're switching up their setups from playing a default to knowing when to put aggression on opposite sides of the map, right? They have a couple players towards plat, and then they'll go into a mid-aggression, try to catch these players off guard. You've seen CLG try to counter this from either A, just giving up plat control and playing from sight, or B, putting 2 players towards long A, try to find the opener. But Optic have done a great job in negating this with the mid-pressure they're doing towards A.
Ooh, nice work from Kusta. On the exits at least, but the reload timing just not quite there. He's not going to be able to keep that rifle in play, at least doing a bit of damage, but if you look at the money currently available on Optic, it's not really going to be anything too costly at this point in time. They still have... Well, Nafly still has 15k. I think he may still have to buy one, so that will drop it a little bit. But on that T side, obviously, we can sort of talk about the idea that money's going to be a little bit easier, especially when you win 7 rounds in a row. Now, what does CLG change? That's the big thing, because it doesn't look like anything's worked so far. They've gone back to double AWPs, but is there anything in particular that you're looking at and thinking, okay, I'm not too much of a fan of that? Or is it just, okay, Optic are outclassing them at the moment?
Optic are playing it really well. I mean, they have a sound default early on to hold for any from CLG. They do a really good job of making sure they keep pressure across the map. They haven't even taken advantage of drop room yet. That's been something Optic haven't really batted an eye to. They haven't really put any players down there. They've just done a great job of using utility towards plat early to keep the players of CLG in B site honest and not to get an early rotation to A. But they've also done a great job of making sure the default has enough players towards A to keep those players at A there without doing any early rotations. So they're keeping CLG guessing in their setups. But Optic are just doing a great job of making sure they negate the possibility of a flank, negate the possibilities of anything that would counter this default. And again, Optic Gaming. We saw Nafly keeping pressure towards A at the beginning, and now they're just going to transition over to B, where they're going to have plat pressure. Nafly is going to do his best towards drop. As CLG going to use a little utility of their own, as Optic Gaming throw a couple flashes, and they're just going to be right out here trying to scrim out onto the site. Tarek playing on the edge of the smoke. Ethan's going to spot him. He was the only one to jump out, as the other members of Optic are now going to do so. Ethan in sight with the help of Ricky's op is going to find 2, so that's 2 frags unanswered. As CLG throw the rotator over towards connector. Ricky transitions to Rock. Mixwell gets spotted going to site. Now he's in a tough spot, especially considering he doesn't have the bomb on his back. That's actually dropped just outside of the reach by the player's stairs. Now Jason R tries to swing. Secondary op comes out. Mixwell from sight will get nothing going his way, as CLG was playing from sight using their utility wisely, and the double ops will pay off this time.
And Nafly looking to do some extra damage. At least takes down 1. They are going to be able to retain this double up setup. That one smoke thrown there actually denied so much time for the T's just trying to get into the site itself. And that was enough that the full rotation was in. And by then, Optic pretty much out of the round. It came down to just whoever hit their shots. And, well, in the end, CLG were finally able to win one of those duels, of course, over on the other side of things. Optic not going to have any trouble buying back up once again. Still got money in their pockets even for the next round. But maybe this can be the kickstart. Obviously, it did come straight after a pause. tactical mind working out this round at least. But they've got a long uphill battle left to go. Or maybe that's where the Subaru can come in.
Carry them home.
It's got that all-wheel drive,
it can help you win games. It does. It does. Whatever you need. 7-1. Still going to be playing around drop. There's one player in window. That's FNS. The flash is actually going to push him out of window. He wanted to try to challenge. Instead, you have to play outside. But now, Optic Gaming do typical mollies to clear out drop room. So at least they have that presence there. They know no one's underneath. They know no one's window. Mixwell, well, he stood on the edge of that molly a bit too long. And I mean, a burnt Mixwell, it's not a good Mixwell. As he will just stand at the molly. Didn't count the ticks, as Ricky's going to find Jason R. Nothing going Optic's way here. From getting picked apart early, to standing in a molly, leaving that fly in a rush, the last two remaining. CLG yet to take a scratch across the board.
Just picking them apart at the moment. Oh, Mixwell said it was an invisible Molotov, so that's probably why things
I guess
I
can't criticize too much there.
Yeah, it's sneaky. New Valve update. Rush will be able to finish off one over towards that drop position. They're actually going to boost the bomb back out of spot. There's only 20 seconds left on the clock, and Kusta's just waiting. Round is done. It's all down to damage, and there's going to be nothing. This time, 4 players stay alive for CLG, finally building up a little bit of cash. And, well, after this next round, although the loss bonus will start to build up behind Optic, they may be struggling to buy themselves.
Well, they are going to go for the op instead of all the AKs. Mixwell's going to pick it up. Look for him to go for probably, I imagine, just going to be holding back plat. Look for anyone to peek from CLG. Although CLG, we haven't really seen any plat pressure from them yet. We've seen FNS do it once with a scout really early on in this half. But other than that, they've really been open to giving plat to Optic and just playing from sight, playing from lane, allowing Optic to get out, take these aim duels, and the ops are just shutting them down now as CLG start to get the double ops flowing. Jason R towards long. He's going to flash and take this peek. There's the upper Ricky holding this tight corner. He's blind, tries to time it, but Jason, that's a minor thing that gets overlooked. When you throw a flash, and odds are like that corner's up heavy when it comes to exactly where Ricky was playing. I love to see players like Jason R just waiting a couple seconds and trying to wait out the op shot. I just love little things like that.
Rotation seemingly coming in a little bit further towards this A site. A second player has been pushed in the form of Ricky. And the first pick will actually go the CT's way again. Optic looking like they have slowed down a little bit from their early momentum. Cutler will be waiting relatively close. Of course, a decent fallback position. Doesn't have to overpeak. And it does look like he's going to have quite a few players pushing his way. But as the smokes are thrown, they're actually going to be denied at least for a second. Carrot comes pushing in, loses the duel. And now it's down to 2 once again. And all these utility just be using a little bit late by the CT side has completely caught off Optic. And now it's all down to Naf. Finds the first. He's done a lot of damage previously, managing that 1 versus 3 earlier in the game. But now he's only got 20 seconds left to try and get onto the site. Last time the bomb was down, which made things a lot easier. And Kusta is going to counter him comfortably with the AWP. The double AWP will be retained once again. And we've now had 3 rounds in a row for the CT side.
CLG are doing a great job now from testing long A. They put pressure there with an op early on in the rounds, which forces out Optic to use utility to gain that part of map. And you're also put in an awkward situation where if we use this utility, it's still not even 100% that this op's going to fall back. So Optic have to be a little safe in how they decide to peek these angles. And CLG's rotations are starting to pick up where they're getting a good read on what Optic are up to. And they're just playing beautifully with these crossfires. Cutler's playing a bit more safe, not taking these peaks like he did early on, where he'll just peek into 3 players towards long without any help. They're a bit more reformed, a bit more safe, and that's what's catching Optic off guard, who want to take these aim duels, who want to play at a quick pace. The CLG are just pumping the brakes of the Subaru and slowing it down.
Again, nades just seem to be denying Optic at the wrong time every time. The fake being thrown in by Jason. But we know that it's going to be a B site, and it seems like the CTs do as well. Already with 4 players in the general vicinity. AWP shots being rattled off by Ricky, but it's Nathan doing the majority of the damage, or Ethan even. I just combined the 2. And yeah, clean up, flawless round. Wonderful stuff from CLG. Yeah, it's not the guy who plays for G2, is it? No. I think I've got them slightly mixed up there.
That'd be pretty cool, though.
What, he's just decided to stand in for the day? Like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter about the servers or anything. I'll just play
Fly
in
him
France.
So CLG, once they actually get money on the board for the double ops, they also, with more money on CT side, it allows for utility. So these mollies are really upsetting Optic Gaming when they want to go for this plat control. And look at Kusta. The flash and smoke for take such an aggressive peek. He gets punished for it. But that's what you like to see if you're a CLG fan. They want to have to make these plays to catch Optic off guard. Any little advantage like that peek will go CLG's way. Unfortunately, it gets traded immediately. Ethan playing just underneath Broken Wall, currently smoked. He's going to re-smoke himself in as they jump out. He's going to make a call that they're out for his teammates. Can't find the frag. Rush aware enough to turn around and shut him down as FNS in sight. He's playing a nice headshot angle. Gets one and is going to try to fall off. Back into a 3v3. Optic, they may feel comfortable, but it's certainly not looking like they're in control yet. As the bomb is down, and just Tarek's going to find FNS's peak, just gets shut down from Tarek. Leaves it all in Ricky. As Optic get on the site, they take the aim duels, and they start to go their way. Even with the smoke, CLG played it well to keep trading it back. But as the smokes dissipate, some peaks came in from CLG, and Optic just lock it out.
Did FNS change to his knife as he went to peak? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. That seems really odd. Like, just the timing there, but I don't know why he did it, but it seemed like he went down because of that very fact. And I'm a little bit disappointed they didn't wait just a second or two longer, because the big thing about that wall of smokes is normally you have the wall, then you plant the bomb, and then you fall back into better positions. But considering the bomb wasn't planted, it meant that in just a second or two, everything was going to clear up, and it would have been a lot easier for these CTs to deny any sort of plant. Instead, they go a little bit more aggressive, trying to use the smokes to their advantage, and it just doesn't really pay off. Optic, they get themselves an 8th after a long hiatus, in fact, from the board. It's been 4 rounds in a row now for the CT side, and because of that, they're going to comfortably have a buy into this one.
Double ops immediately. Well, the second op gets bought back up. It's 8-4. Mixwell will have his once again as they pick it up from the previous round off the floor. Well, on round 13 in CLG, it was looking rough early, but you're right, 4 rounds in a row really brings it back for them. They've stopped taking the heads-on approach, and the rotations really have been they've been sharp. And once you get utility on CT side, I mentioned it, these mollies slow them down. You're able to break apart the executions from the T's. One flash, one smoke. We've seen these great use of utility from CLG, from throwing smokes on sites, smoking Broken Wall. They've been doing these smart heads-up plays with their utility that have been going their way. And Kusta spots Mixwell early, getting into that back push room of Platt. Misses the shot. Now they know he's here. He's expecting a molly instead. Nafly is all he'll receive, as they're going to go 1-for-1 early. As Optic try to fight into the site. Ethan playing for pizza. Great timing on that shot to spot Mixwell crossing. That's bomb. Jason Art will pick up the mantle and get the bomb planted. Man advantage, CLG.
Yeah, in a good position here to try and work this retake. A flank coming in from Ricky as well. But Naf, he's already got one. Tarek with another, just picking off these site players. Ethan going to go pushing, able to at least trade one back, but they're repositioning, trying to pick him out before he can really get anything done. And while Ricky now, his flank seems a little bit worthless, he's going to have to do it all alone. Finds the first at least. Now looking for Jason. Doesn't have any utility to play with over on the T side of this pick. Could come out. Nice no-scope for Ricky. He's going to find the kill. Has himself a kit. Defuse should be coming in as well. And lovely 1v2 from the man from Oz.
Man, Jason R had that one dead to rights. He actually made a jump while transitioning from rock to pizza. He made that little jump noise trying to get up on towards lane. He wanted to face towards lane, maybe try to catch Ricky crossing. Instead, Ricky just walk pushes all the way up after hearing that sound cue, which puts CLG gets number 5 on the board for themselves. Optic Gaming in round 14 are going to have a mixed bag of a buy, including 2 AKs, the good old trusty UMPs, and a Tech 9. So it's still a deadly buy, especially in these players' hands. Be a little limited when it comes down to what they can do. And again, we still have yet to see any kind of heavy drop presence from Optic. It's been a lot of plat, it's been a lot of aim duels, and it's been just a lot of we're going to push down A and go for executions B.
Flash going to come out. Will be expected by FNS. Manages to get the initial kill of this round. Rest of the utility going to be expended. And actually, Kusta, I think he just came in on the flank, just managed to run past a couple of players. Still catches one. Ethan going to be hiding into the corner. They thought they cleared this with a molly earlier. Instead, he'll get the double. leaving it all onto Naf once again. He seems to be the last man alive in quite a few of these circumstances. Pushing back in with the Tech 9 double nades, forcing him out. And CLG once again, they're on the board with another round. And I'm starting to definitely think that maybe Optic just have a little bit of a limitation when it comes to actual strategy. Because I agree with you, like in terms of drop, it's normally a hugely contested part of the map. Like teams that enjoy this map specifically will always try and have some sort of control in that area, but it has been what seems like very basic strategies, just trying to take over long control, go for aggressive pushes through middle, or just head straight out onto plat. Like the amount of time we've now seen a player try to run through the smoke, like it's just expected. FNS was already waiting for it. He even watched for the flash, like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here, turn away, and then I know there's a man coming through that smoke, because they've done it 3, 4, maybe even 5 times in a row.
Yeah, I think they've gone for the volleys and drop once or twice, but they rarely send a player down there. CLG are catching up onto this, right? Because that's one less player they really need to have watching drop. They can afford to have one player there. Typically, you have one player window, one player e-box, and you put a lot of attention towards it. But since Optic are going to get just not paying attention to it too much, CLG can have to afford to have another player in sight, another pair of eyes towards plat, and more importantly, another gun ready to pop some shots towards the players of Optic. As you take a look at the scoreboard, it's a great game from Russian Nafly to start it going. Same with Mixwell, he's up there. But everyone from CLG is starting to put frags on the board, starting to get comfortable. It's a slow start, but it's starting to transition later in this half, where CLG are starting to get a read on Optic. Their rotations are good, their ops are finding shots, and just all around good utility usage.
Back to pistols. Something that Optic really haven't had to deal with too much in this game. They've had a decent economy off the start. Now they're just going to have to go rushing in, trying to shut down Cutler. This time, Tarek showing a little bit of restraint, not going to go through the smoke. I almost expected it to happen with that trusty Tech 9 in hand. However, it does sort of allow for the first pick to go in. And, well, the bomb position, not great. Luckily, it was just behind the boxes, so Rush should be able to take this away. Make sure there's nobody holding anymore. But it seems like the CT side, after realizing there's pistols, they've just fallen back. They're going to take much more passive angles, use the range of their rifles. This is a very smart play, especially when you have the man advantage already. You know that utility is likely to be limited as well over on that T side. So you're just going to burn down that clock and make sure that when they push in, they've got to try and hit some nutty shots if they're going to win this round.
Yeah, CLG don't want to give this advantage away whatsoever. Optic Gaming going to throw a smoke over from Jason. Tark a smoke and a molly. Kusta APC with his op. Full trust in Cutler to hold mid, and he'll get 2 for his troubles. Kusta going to now transition his eyes towards long 8. He's going to fall back. Actually, he died in Nafly. Jason are in sight. Blind. Great flash as he'll fall at FNS, leaving it all on Nafly. Optic Gaming go for that kind of scrim and brawl kind of mentality with pistols towards B, or towards A, excuse me. Won't work out. Nafly, he's in a foot race right now towards the B site against Ethan, who has a really good idea that he's going to be crossing here. Ethan gets back statue in time. Nafly, he wants to try to cut rotations off before he pushes into sight. That molly's just off the mark for drop. There you have it. Ethan gets there undetected and is able to wide swing. So all in all, it was looking a lot like an Optic Gaming half, and all of a sudden CLG, they started to click. The double ops didn't work out the first time. Then they just changed up the remedy. They switched up what they're up to. They noticed that Optic were not putting too much pressure towards drop room. They'd throw the mollies, but not typically send someone down. So that's an extra man for either A, rotations, or B, to just sit in a site. And CLG were able to string some rounds together.
A very good recovery, in fact, in the end. Ended up with getting, 7 of the last 8 rounds. And I definitely think that it was more, like, not to take anything away from Kusta, but I think it was more the secondary ult that actually did a lot of the damage over towards that B site, because in the early rounds, we just saw them able to run out plat, and Ricky, just that stabilization of the ult, getting that first pick a lot of the time. He's now sat right at the top of that scoreboard and has done some great work to help them recover on that CT side. Obviously going straight in. Second half will be underway in just a moment. And so far, we have got all Kevlar. Not a single nade. I'm not including decoys. They do not count.
But they blow up.
That one damage.
For one,
it's about as effective as throwing it at someone.
Yeah. So interesting enough, both pistols. We saw Optic on their T side have utility, but both CT sides are going for no kits. Yeah, the fake flash to try to get down drop. Rush is baiting for his teammate. Cutler's going to shut him down. Rush towards E-Box. Needs to find more. He has to reload. He's only able to get one. Jason R from window. Couldn't help him out, but he's going to push into just a swarm of CLG members as the Glocks start to swarm all over the place. Mixwell will try to shut down the bomb. Instead, he'll find a bullet from the Glock of Ricky to shut it down. CLG, I mean, Glocks down drop. It's a scary place to be if you're a CT.
That's how you take drop control. There you go. Fake flash with decoy. That's all you need to do, guys. And then just have ridiculous aim as well. That normally helps. Either way, we are going to see the force up coming in from this CT side. A Mag 7 in play for Rush. I am a fan, and I will be rooting for him in this round to see what he can actually do with that very weapon. Expecting him to play over towards Broken Walls, mainly because he hasn't gone into drop as of yet. But unfortunately, the one thing that Mag 7s aren't very good for, retakes.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's not built for long range unless he's able to get himself in sight. Possibly deny plant, get an upgrade. Mixwell gonna try to hold the cross instead. Cutler's gonna shut him down. So CLG really starting to heat up from the later parts of their CT side to the early parts of their T side. The pistol really put a lot of wind behind their sails to push it into this round. They won't lose a single member unless they go hunting, try to farm up some money on these SMGs. But other than that, Nafly's gonna try to save his armor. Tark's in the same boat. They'd love to have this armor and pistol in the next round. And CLG are gonna take the lead.
Yeah, first time in this game from 7-0 down to 9-8 up. Optic definitely look like they've lost the wind in their sails that we saw from the early half. Looked very impressive as well, but it weren't really doing anything too ludicrous. It was just very aggressive pushes and catching out these CLG players. Trying to remove the remaining weaponry from the hands of the CT side. No pistols will be saved, no Kevlar either. And a flawless round as well going into the second is always good. It's so much money being built up on the T side. We saw over on the opposite side, Optic were able to get something like 10 to 15 grand built up over their players within the first 4 or 5 rounds. So if CLG can do the same, obviously now it does look like the momentum's firmly with them. And with only USPs and one P250 on the board, this should be a great opportunity for that Mac 10. And of course the trusty UMP to make a bit of cash.
Like a UMP to farm it up. Jason R gonna squeeze players mid early, but you can see the new add-on to how wide the dangerous stairs are. He has to really run for his life. Ethan gets both entries against these unarmored opponents, so it is pretty much just they're gonna turn into Swiss cheese as Jason R will at least drop one player. So 2 players fall for CLG. They should be able to pick up those AKs. Kusta trying to find it instead. They will lose 1 AK, keep 1 Mac 10, but the money's already been built up. Although with just USPs and 1 P250, it's good damage dealt from Optic. They're expecting it's almost like a throwaway round at that point, right? You just try to take as many duels as you can with your pistols and try to find as many frags. So 2 is not the worst. 2 is better than 1, Tom. I learned that, I think, preschool. Yeah.
I learned that last year. I really struggled with maths. But
it's okay, man.
Yeah, every kill as well is an extra nade. That's the way I look at it, because we normally see a struggle with utility. Ethan, playing around the edge of that smoke. They've still actually got a Mac 10 in play, which I don't mind in these sort of rounds, because there's only one player actually with any head armor over on the CT side, so it's still one hit to the dome, and you make yourself $600. And even if you lose it, not really that big of a deal. Molly going to be thrown out, but, well, Kusta attempting to go for that peak, can't get anything done. Rush decimates him over in drop, and it definitely seems like CLG much happier to go for these sort of peaks into drop down, trying to take over it, try and have it as part of their game. Ricky will be able to get one. They do still have a Molotov to actually clear this corner angle, but the peak's going to come out from Tarek. He'll get the first, but it's quickly traded back to a 3 versus 3, which, again, normally benefits this T side.
And as soon as the words in your mouth, Mixel's going to find Cutler. So the moment you said it, it's now man advantage for Optic. Jason R is going to be playing back into sight. After they get the man advantage, they just push back. They still have some info towards B with 1 player spotting towards Plat. So they know that part's clear. FNS may get Gush, but Jason's going to fall. That's a huge kill for FNS to open up the A site, especially considering Ethan's rotating with Bomb. Mixwell will get himself towards Murder Hole. We'll see if he pushes into Nerd Room or elects to go towards Balcony. But with a flash, CLG are going to both push into sight. And we'll see if both players are going to play sight or one player is going to fall back to long. Yeah, Ethan's just going to fall back to long. Play the long game, if you will, and just play out the time as he's going to worry about the flank. That's Rush, and Mixwell gets ready to come out towards Connector.
Rush on the flank. He was the big part of this play, and well, Ethan just seems aware of it, but both players incredibly low at the moment. Mixwell with a huge opportunity to actually take this round. He doesn't have a kit, so he needs to move quickly. He knows where one of the players is, doesn't have a clue where the second will take down Ethan. FNS, he's just going to try and play this positional game. He knows that he could just burn down this clock as much as possible and will win the round. Smart stuff from him. Doesn't give Mixwell a chance. And that will be another round on the board for CLG. 11-8. Unlikely to see too much of a buy-up coming in this round from Optic. A few pistols buying down to around that 2k marker. Obviously, they're going to want to change something up in the coming round, maybe with an AWP. Obviously, extra utility will be something that they haven't been able to play with as of yet. And in fact, that was the big thing we saw change for CLG. When they got the utility and had everything in hand to actually slow down these pushes, that was when they really started to get on the board.
Yeah, that mix with the double op really opened up the map for CLG on their CT side. And now they're going to just probably send Kusta down drop first by himself. As long as there's no invisible mollies, he should be safe. Rush going to take the early peek. 5-7 gets 2. Ooh. Rush showing off how good the 5-7 still is. He can move left and right. Still full accuracy. He's able to pick up 2 players. And now Ricky has to be worried. If they go for the boost, that's an AK and a MAC-10 in the CT's hands. Although they have 1 kit of armor out on Rush. Optic Gaming get the 2 openers, which is what they need in a round like this. Rush gets spotted while jumping. Ricky still not feeling confident enough to peek him. He knows what lies in wait, and smart play from Ricky to just get the AK out of there. Even if they boost, I'm going to make sure they don't get the more powerful rifle.
Not really worth the risk at this sort of point. FNS will be handed a freebie. Actually gets dinked up. He's going to go down as well. This is getting a little bit too close for comfort. Not too much invested in this round. It's going to come down to Ricky and Ethan. 2 players who have been at the top of their board for the team. Jason again, still there. Rush will get another. That's a 3rd and a 4th kill for him. And well, if that doesn't impress her, I don't know what will.
I love it. I love it. Not even on script. That was off the cusp. I feel obligated to top somehow.
Good luck. I've been writing that one for months. I've been waiting for Subaru to give me this call. I've been writing these down. I actually am paying a guy to actually come up with all of these jokes on the car.
Damn. He deserves a race. CLG AK is no MAC-10. Just AKs now. The CLG, it looks like they're lining up the wall of smokes. As every team loves this strat. It's just so strong. And smoke towards Broken Wall to help him get out. See if Optic are going to push through the smokes and get in front of them. Like, Nafly has a choice to push through it. Tarek, he pushes through it. He goes through lane to hold the Broken Wall jump out. He's able to get 2. He has support as his teammates rotate. Nafly will push through the smoke to help him from sight. Ricky and Kusta, last 2 remaining. Optic Gaming doing a great job just saying, you want to throw these smokes? We're going to beat you to plat. You won't be able to get out before we get there. And that's exactly what transpired.
Kusta is actually going to at least make this a little bit costly. Likelihood is they still won't be able to go for too much of an investment into the next round. CLG, their streak seemingly a little bit shorter than what we saw on the other side of the board. And Optic, now with a double op setup of their own, have been able to deny once they get that utility in play. And, well, big start from Tarek as well. Investment into pistols, the Tech 9s. We know what these very guns can do. And normally in these sort of scenarios, you do see a B-site push. That's the more common of the two, just because of the close range scenarios that are available. And I'm hoping we'll see similar things to what we saw from CLG towards the end of the last half, where once they find out this is pistols, they just fall away. What? Actually, not going to connect. I thought that was a shot that hit no matter what, but clearly I'm blind.
Yeah. Jason R. Front APC going to find 3, looking for the 4th with his pistol. He'll get it. Mixwell doesn't get the opener. I think it maybe just went over the shoulder of that player who crouched and didn't hit the player behind him. But it seemed really close. Regardless, they'll tie it back up at 11s. CLG, after taking 1 eco, taking a knee, will get AKs, a UMP on a Cutler. Optic Gaming will stick with the FAMAS out on Jason. As the double ops for them on the CT side starts to just come into its own. It starts to blossom as his game gets more diverse and even closer. As it started out as a blowout, and it's kind of transitioned into an all-out brawl.
It's time to bite. Back on the board for this T side. Mixwell going for these aggressive peaks over towards the A site will be forced back. by the utility of this T side. They still don't have a whole lot of nades, but it may not matter. They've got that first pick over towards B on Tarek. Bomb, not really dedicated anywhere too much. And Mixor going to be blinded up. He's left to 15 HP. Still going for the repeak. And Kusta, well, a little bit of a pre-fire through the smoke is going to give them a 2-man advantage already. Jason, he's going to go for the same repeak. Spots the boost, and Kusta loses his head.
And now the full execution coming up from CLG. They smoke. They're going to try to fight out here. Rush playing back here, way back behind APC. Be able to hold the push up towards door and tree. And they finally get shut down. Jason R in sight. Last one remaining. You can see the bomb running to B because they know they spotted Jason R. So now they're just going to hightail it all the way to B. Jason R has to try to fight back somehow. And a 1v3, and Ethan's just going to hold for rotation. CLG, on the back of Mixwell being extremely aggressive, from going from the mid pick early to falling back to long, and possibly overstaying his welcome.
Yeah, I think, well, we saw it on both sides of the map. I'm pretty sure Tarek did something similar over towards B, and that's something that quite a lot of teams can actually get a sort of mentality stuck in them. It's like, okay, the first player peaks, loses life. The second player automatically feels obliged that they have to do the same thing to get the balance back, to get it into that 4v4 more even scenario. And we just saw in that round, they just spiraled out of control. They almost managed to bring it back on the site. Unfortunately, the rotation from CLG was smart enough to just take over the B site once it was left alone. Now, this is just going to be a straight up B push by the looks of things. Every single player in the vicinity. Kusta will start things off, but after the smoke is thrown out, B side, they're just happy to fall back. There's still 1 minute 25, only 30 seconds gone on the clock. They've got their man advantage. No real need to over-dedicate to this site just yet.
Yeah, they catch Nap fly really early. You want to try to get into the cubby and spot players towards flat. Possibly get a favorable engagement. Catch a player possibly lining up a smoke and try to fall off. Instead, the op beat him to it and just held the peak. And it looks like CLG going to use a little bit of utility to continue this walk push up towards plat. I'll have the op supporting them while they push forward. Ethan's going to make noise while he drops, but he shoots. Keep that noted. They may not have heard him dropping down due to the bullet. But Optic Gaming, they're pretty B-side heavy right now. With the player in A push towards door for the quick rotations. Tark back to site. Spots these players getting out. He'll get shut down, though, before he lands a shot, while Rush will deal with the drop players. The CLG, man advantage, get to site. Ricky's about to plant this bomb. Jason Art feels like he has to push up, but the player plat spots him. And this is a hard ask for Optic Gaming.
They're already managing to pick up the first, though, and Cutler dinked. They line up. Kusta does a lot of damage as well. There are a lot of low HP players. I feel like Rush is going to be the one that needs to make some sort of play. And in fact, as Mixwell tries to fall out of the round, Rush has no choice but to do the same. We'll be able to save that AWP, but the money is going to be absolutely wrecked for Optic in this next round. Obviously, only managing a couple in a row. And the thing is, that was a big round in terms of this game. You have to look at the money that was actually left over on the T side. They might have been able to squeeze something out, but it wouldn't have been anything impressive whatsoever. So big round for CLG. They've managed to retake themselves the lead a little bit further, 2 rounds up. And now, well, this AWP is going to have to do something very impressive. The catalyst player of Mixwell will need to go ham.
Yeah, we'll see Rush probably buy a pistol here, I imagine. He has armor and a kit, so yeah, he'll go ahead and pick up the 5.7. He has a bit more money than his teammates. And you're completely right. You hit the nail on the head. Mixwell has to go ham with his op. Not turkey, not any other kind of meat you may eat.
Definitely not chicken.
Not chicken.
We don't want to see him a chicken.
No.
Maybe chicken coop.
Yeah, he could go. You're too witty for me. You
Russia
might not be good at math
last time,
but you must have aced English.
Wow, you know, it's not as impressive me doing it, considering I am English. So
true.
I like it.
Baited again, dude.
Yeah. Rush getting 4 kills though last time, so I've still got a little bit of hope there. Maybe he can pull something out of the bag as well. They have only sent 1 player. It's going to be Jason on that A site once again. He's the spotter at this point. He is, okay guys, they're coming my way, rescue me. The rest of the team, they are going to be sat over towards that B site, ready and waiting. The AWP is going to be set up as well. Peak coming out from Rush, the 5.7, doing work again. Maybe you should just stick to this weapon. This is a real cry for help, if anything, to Valve. Come on now. These pistols, they're a bit ridiculous.
Hey man, nothing like holding W and fragging out, alright? The adrenaline you get from the wind going through your hair while you find frags with pistols.
You just said that to a bald guy. You've lost me.
By a toupee. CLG pushing up mid-rush. He's going to fall back to the side. He has support from the op from Mixwell here. Playing towards balcony and another player backside. So Optic Gaming, they get the pick and they immediately transition towards A. They're going to walk right into this. CLG have no info elsewhere. And now they're going to be in for a bit of a surprise as Cutler spots Jason R back sight. He'll deal with him. Mixwell still yet to make presence known from balcony with the op. As Tark finds ones towards mid. FNS tagged through the APC. Gets himself towards tree. No armor on Mixwell. Aim punch overwhelming. Can't find the second shot. It's all on Tark. 1v2. He's pushing towards APC. This player has to peek him if he wants a chance into this round. Cutler's just going to sit back sight and wait for the jump up. He spots Tark, or he spots FNS, excuse me, as Tark spots this. Waiting for the peek, but it's a big wide swing. Tark wasn't ready for that. Now, it's a tough ask for Tark. He gets himself top hut, but CLG are not taking any chances. They are not peeking him. They are toying with him.
That round was so much closer than it probably should have been. Not even just the 2v2 towards the end. The bomb goes down with 5 seconds left on the clock. Jason I was sat in the corner. He manages to do even the slightest bit of damage and deny that plant. The round ends there and then. CLG cutting that one very, very close. Now the buy will be coming back in once again. A little bit disappointed that I don't see Rush on that trusty 5-7 because he has been phenomenal with it so far. And just look at the scoreboard in itself. He is 27 and 17. This man is the one they need to avoid at this point. Because he needs someone to step up with him, really. It's a big drop down. Nafly, he's had a couple of clutch moments. Big impact frags, but at the moment it seems like it is just Rush versus CLG.
He's going to be holding plat. He's considering throwing a Molotov if he will. See if anyone was back box, try to flush him out, and then just hold the cubby, see if anyone's going to peek him. But he is just going to hold for presence as the bomb is towards outer yard with his teammates. Kusta's just keeping a little presence there for CLG, and he is just going to go ahead and safely fall back through Dragon, pick up the bomb, and they're going to head towards A momentarily. Cutler looking like he's going to take the lead as soon as he throws a smoke. They're going to go for a kind of a split, right? Players down mid, players down long A. As Optic Gaming have one player. Look how far pushed back Jason R is on site. They have no info, Optic Gaming. They're now going to peek plant with Mixwell. So Mixwell not spotting anybody. That may prompt a rotation from Optic. And as soon as Jason spots these smokes, we'll see how quick Optic can run into the Yeezys over towards this site.
Double orb setup over on this T side. Just going to be working those picks, trying to find somebody. But at the moment, there is only Jason. The rotation has come in from the rest of the team. Actually, there's going to be 2 players in this balcony. Make it down to 1 as the trade's coming across the board at the moment. Backwards and forwards into a 2 versus 1. And Cutler will finish off both, leaving it 15-11. Optic never really getting too much presence over on this CT side. They had a 3-round streak. That was where we really saw them shine with the double AWP setup in play and the money in their pockets. After that, it's just been force buy after force buy, and now this is what I want to call the meta buy. Tarek has ruined it a little bit by buying himself a scout, but the rest of the team, they've gone full mode. And they're going to be trying to win this. I wouldn't even be surprised if they did. That's how good this weapon is at the moment.
Yeah, the amount of like Counter-Strike I've been casting lately, I've been noticing a lot of teams, not the top teams, but a lot of teams have been going for, you win pistol, you immediately go into UMPs. And like they don't even know what ecos are anymore. If the UMP is available, they have money for armor UMP, they'll go for it. But Optic have UMP as in utility. That's what's so nice about the price point of the UMP. It gives a nice little lead towards utility, as it doesn't matter if Kusta can get these entries. They're going to try to wide swing and find Nafly. He gets himself back sight. They know he's here. But look at all these CLG members starting to push up towards the site. Cutler will take the first peek. Nafly will fall. FNS is going to worry about balcony, and he spots the first player as a scout from Tarek will find a refrag. But they're a man down now in this retake.
Yeah, very difficult position to come back from. No kits, no utility left. But Rush, he's still on this board, able to find one. Now into a 1 versus 2. And, well, Ricky will deny. Ends himself 29 and 14. Man has had a phenomenal game. And that will be the first map going the way of CLG. Starting strong. And they're going to look to continue that one up on train. I'm actually really excited for this now because this is I'm pretty sure this is a brutal format. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure if you lose 1 best of 3, you're out.
Yep, there's no room for the bottom bracket.
That the Subaru are savage. Like that's the way this is going. They're pretty much just saying, okay, you lose, you're out. That is it. That is done. And well, obviously, we're going to be a little bit kinder in other senses, of course. We do have our trusty giveaway going on at the moment. The link is on your screen at this point in time, and you will be able to get yourself a PC, some keyboards, some stuff, all of that into the first place. And then if you finish second, of course, there's 250 mouse mats to go into the pockets of everyone else. Although you've got to have big pockets.
To fit 250, yeah, you're going to have to be wearing some advanced cargo pants. So, I mean, they're sick. They're as well enter. You're watching, you're loving the teams. Not only is Subaru giving you a chance to win an awesome gaming PC, plus monitor, plus keyboard, plus everything on screen, the branded mouse pads. So link on screen, as Tom said, and also down below, as we're going to be heading to the next map, which is Train, which Tom also mentioned. I'm kind of just repeating everything he said because he's the better looking gent, and I like to learn from my superiors.
Ah, that's nice. Something we haven't mentioned, though, is obviously this tournament is going on at the moment. It's the first thing we've really seen from Subaru. At the beginning, we spoke about they want to hear, or we want to hear. I feel like I'm now part of this. We want to hear what you want to see from them in the future.